what state is the squad in for Friday? Injuries, knocks, that kind of thing?
Alan Bennett is 50-50. Sean McLaughlin's back in. Kieran Sadler trained this morning. Gary Buckley trained this morning. Carol Shepherd is 50-50. And obviously Colm Hogg and Johnny Dunleavy are out. So other than that, that's where we're at.
What's the reaction being like to Friday's defeat?
Obviously guys were really disappointed. The performance was poor. We made a lot of individual mistakes. As a team we didn't do enough. So it's sore for the lads, and as I keep saying, that it's something you have to learn. Sometimes players playing down in Cork probably don't understand the pressure, and they're getting to understand that. Obviously as a management team we know that, and sometimes you have to be patient because maybe the reaction some of the players took after the game was sore, and maybe it was something they didn't expect, because in no other club in Ireland would you get that reaction. So but as a management team we have to be patient, because no matter how you explain it, sometimes you have to see it and feel it, and but the most important thing is you have to bounce back, and we've been working on the players bouncing back and giving a true performance, and that's how we're planning for Friday night.
And do you still feel like the league title is there to be won ahead of Friday night?
Well, the thing is for us is that the most important thing is our next game. Our last game is poor, and we have the team that has been at the top of this for the last 4 or 5 years coming to Turner's Cross. The games are always hectic games, full house, great atmosphere, and we need to put a huge performance in, and as I keep saying, we just have to concentrate and put in a performance and win the 3 points.
But a win on Friday will keep the league dream alive?
Of course it will, because it's still, at the end of the day, you win your games. Obviously it's not directly in our hands, but at the same time we win our games, they don't win their games, of course it is, but at the same time we must go and give a performance in front of our own supporters on Friday night, because our supporters over the last 5 years have been fantastic. They've given tremendous support to the team, but likewise the team have given the supporters fantastic value as well, and they expect a committed, passionate Cork City, because that's what we're all about, and that's what I think on Friday night we'll do.
We were here before, John, in your first year, 7 points behind actually with 5 games to go, and you brought us to the last match. I presume you'd have that. I know you take one game at a time, but that would be the objective again this year, to bring it down to the wire.
Well, there's 6 weeks to go in the season. We're second in the table. We're in the Cup semi-final. We've already qualified for Europe. And as a management team, we want to keep pushing and pushing. And that's what we've been doing year on year. And as I keep saying, your next game is your most important game. And all we can do is Friday night is see can we win the match. And that's what we're looking at. And we see where that takes us after that. So we haven't spoken about anything else other than giving a performance this week, and that's what we want to do.
And the boys that were out last week, Bucks and Sadler, they were knocks they picked up after the press conference. Obviously we know Sean got a knock early on against Germany in Tala.
Yeah, and Benno had got one against Longford. Yeah, it was unfortunate because obviously we'd done a lot of work during the week with the boys and the team, and one flared up of training on Tuesday was Kieran, and Gary just on Thursday morning had a collision with Rowan Hurley, one of 19s, and came out in the wrong end of it, and and even Shep was 50-50 going into the match, but just getting to a stage, like I suppose realistically, if you look at last week's injury list, Horgan, Dunleavy, Bennett, Sadler, Buckley,
Conor
McCarthy, it just happened, and that's the way it is, and you just put your head down and move on. But at the same time, that had no excuse for losing our game, because we had plenty of good players on the park and we didn't do enough and we didn't play well enough. So I would never use that, and I would never use players being out or missing. It has been unusual this year that we've had a lot of injuries that maybe we haven't had in other years, but we've never used that, and generally hasn't really affected us because our form this year has been really, really good, but we've had a difficult couple of league games.
The first half, John, on Friday night was, you've had yourself the poorest under your management, and can you put your finger on why it happened? Or
well, I think it was, we started slowly, obviously we could see the soft first goal, and then we get the second. And yes, I keep saying probably Martin, it's like the pressure in Cork. You know, maybe players are going into the game and thinking we win and we're back in, and goes against you, and then because there is tremendous. I keep saying Cork is the most unusual place and most fantastic place to be as a sports person. Fantastic when you win, everyone knows you. It's like nowhere else in because of all the sports. Maybe it might be Gaelic in one county, it might be hurling in one county, it might be football in another county, it might be rugby in another county. Down here, everyone knows every sports person that wins, and they all want to know you, and it's brilliant and fantastic. But at the same time, when you're walking the streets and you don't perform well, or you're not doing well, people will tell you that too. And sometimes a game like that happens, and the second goal goes in, and all of a sudden, maybe a bit of frenzy kicks in. But it was certainly very, very disappointing. But you have to take the criticism, the knocks, and I keep saying to the fellas, there's no hiding place. If you're a man, if you're good enough, you'll learn from that. And you'll drive on. And as a management team, I've seen it before. So you have to be patient and trust the guys, because ultimately, they're second in the table in a cup semi-final, they've qualified for Europe. So, but if you have a bad couple of weeks, you have to take it on the chin, and you either respond positively and come back in a stronger person, or you fade away. So, but these guys, I expect that I've seen enough of them, a lot of them throughout the years, but even the new players this year, a lot of them to know that they're really tremendous guys, and I'd expect that they'd learn, that it would be a massive learning curve for them.
In a way, is this the best game to bounce back? That it's the toughest game of the season, or one of the toughest ones?
Well, I would say any game would be tough after last week, because you need to get yourself back on track. So from that point of view, the thing is, we're at home. Certainly it will create a lot of excitement. Yes, I appeal to our supporters, really come out in big numbers, because we believe Dundalk and the big crowd coming down. So, it's, Turner's Cross being passionate and being full and noisy is fantastic for us. And you look at our record all season. Unfortunately, we lost one home game a few weeks ago. Up to that, our home record was phenomenal. But I appeal to the fans to come out in huge numbers, and certainly with a bouncing Turner's Cross, I believe the team will give a bouncing performance.